Welcome to Fox One Gal Stories. I like to tell a story about my thinking because there came a time I wanted to know who am I versus who I thought I was. And from my point of view, there is a difference. What's inside of me or my heart is infinite, and what I think is not. And I also like to say this is not about hating our mind or our thinking. Most of the time, our thinking wants to be right. It would rather be right than be happy. Remember, I have no fancy title after my name or a paper that says I'm qualified to do this. So let's just call it a story. I'm just sharing some ideas here and they are there for the taking. Or please feel free just to turn this off. Where to begin? I could not help but already see I was doing the same thing over and over again, wishing for something new. And of course, that would never happen. It was like the same circumstances would play out over and over again. The people and the places may have changed, but not the circumstance or the outcome. I do call my mind or my thinking a storyteller. And let's just say for this story, all humans are storytellers. There's just something inside of me that wants to make an interpretation of everything I perceive. It's like we're all journalists trying to explain whatever happens around us. When I took that time to see what was going on, because I didn't like the results I was getting in life, I realized I really didn't like my story. And I thought, how can I change this? And I heard this from folks so many times. Look inside. Okay, for someone that can overthink something in a heartbeat, that was a big, big challenge for me. Then someone suggested for me to take a look at something I avoided doing every chance I got, out of fear, of course. What was it? To look at my emotions. So let's look at an idea, and I don't want you to believe what I say. Put it to the test by looking to your own experiences, and you get to decide for yourself if this works or is this something for you or not. You cannot fake what you feel. You can try to justify or hide your emotions. You can try to lie about what you feel, but what you feel is what you feel. So what makes us ashamed of our feelings? What if there was nothing wrong with what you feel? Even if you feel anger or hate, I like to say it comes from your integrity. What if everything you perceived caused an emotional reaction? You perceive not only your feelings, but your thinking, which contains your thoughts, ideas, judgments, and beliefs. You perceive that. It's like that voice in your head, or some like to call this thinking, and you have an emotional reaction to that voice. So when you lie to yourself, judge yourself, reject yourself, how do you feel? I know when I do this, it's not pleasant. And if pretending or hiding our emotions worked, then why do we feel so bad? So if you don't like the emotional reaction, maybe it's not about repressing what you feel. What if we cleaned up the story we tell ourselves each and every day? So maybe if we no longer believed what the mind is saying, when it's saying stuff to us like we're not good enough, we're not strong enough, we're not smart enough, and by understanding our thinking is just a storyteller, what would that look like? When we react to a situation or a person, take a moment, step back, or maybe look at this word one more time. When we reenact to what our thinking says, we pretty much get the same results. What if our thinking can't give us anything new? And what if it only gives us what has been? Then we engage in the same behavior pattern over and over again, wishing for something new. I guess the question here is, do you really want something new? Believe it or not, for me, my spirit always wants to express itself freely. There is no resistance to it, and it flows with life. This is so hard to describe, but once you have a little bit of experience of it, you know what it is. And some like to call this synchronicity. In describing it seems to take away from the experience. Not that we don't want to share it with others, because we do. It expresses beauty and love, but words cannot really describe it, because word again limits its experience. My heart knows what it is. So what gets in the way of me experiencing this? It's my behavior that came from the program, or my thinking, which clings to what I believe about myself or agreed to that does not match up to my integrity, which prevents me from being all I can be in this life. So let's take a look at emotions, and don't be afraid to look. They are so much a part of our story. And if you're getting angry or upset, then just feel it. Acknowledge it. I am angry. But take a moment. I like to call anger an alarm clock. And for me, it does wake me up. And I like to say it's time to pay attention. Not to just what's going on outside of me, but what story am I telling myself? What am I thinking? And I don't think we can really fight our thinking. You can try, but I bet you end up with a big headache. I know I did. So if we can't fight our thinking, what can we do? I say we can disempower it. But how? By choosing not to listen to what it has to say, and maybe find some tools to begin to see life just the way it is. By taking deep breaths, long walks, and not looking at life through the stories we tell or what we are thinking. Or maybe by stop taking everything personal, which was key for me. Let's say today I got on the computer and for whatever reason my computer starts acting totally crazy. I start taking whatever actions I feel are necessary to fix what's going on. 5 hours transpire before I can complete the task that was supposed to take me an hour. Situations like this pop up all the time and affect us. Let's look at the reaction to the challenge and ask ourselves this. Is something like this happened to you recently? How did you handle the situation? If you got angry or upset, what underlying ideas or stories were you telling yourself? For example, were you angry or frustrated because your time is limited and you have too much to do as it is? I like to say this. If you lose your temper and become impatient or irritated by these type of situations, take a moment. I know for me in the past I would get very angry and frustrated and pretty much have a meltdown. Then say something like this to myself or out loud. I'm having such a bad day and life really sucks. But who is really making me angry and frustrated about stuff like this? Well, I didn't have to look very far, just to a mirror to see it was me. It was because I saw them as an obstacle to my day. And I was making the choice, by making my day bad, by making a choice to let these events upset me. I am the one making my day bad by deciding to believe that life is out to get me. I am the one making my day bad by thinking the world revolves around me, and that life should be without challenges. I like to say this. Our enjoyment level in life is based upon how much gratitude and appreciation we have for our lives. Most of us detest all the bad and painful experiences we have had, and only have appreciation for those supposed good things. I don't see life on terms of good or bad, but instead as a learning experience. I know without the many challenges in my life, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. I get excited by the challenges because they give me a glimpse of what's in my heart and my hidden resources that are within. Can you see choices in your life? For example, if you don't want to forgive your mother or father or brother or friend for something they have done, then you don't want to see your other choices. One great choice is to have gratitude for whatever happened between the two of you, and to know that you learned something from that conflict. If you come out of the event a stronger and more self-aware person, then why not choose to have gratitude? When we were little children and folks were around us telling us how we should be, and we agreed to it, we begin to repress the expression of our authentic self. We repress our integrity and our emotional body. We practice hiding our emotions and pretending that we don't feel them. I used to be possessed by the main character of my story. I was abused by that character for so many years. It told me I was not good enough and there was something wrong with me, and I pretended to love myself. And not just that, I pretended to love someone else. How could I love someone else when I didn't love myself? I can only give to others what I already have. I also like to say this: our heart is made to produce so much love. If you can't feel love, it's because you're resisting love. It's because you learned how to stop expressing your love. My thinking said, it's not safe to love. I'm afraid to love because it makes me vulnerable. If I love, my heart will be broken. This is just my thinking. And I have a lot of experience with this one. Every time I loved, my heart was broken. Well, this was a story I told myself over and over again. And time to change this story. What if nobody can break your heart? If I love myself, my heart was broken in the past because of what I believed or agreed to about love. I say love makes you strong. Love does not make you hurt. When I redefined what love was, my whole story changed, and that was amazing. So how are you defining love? Our planet has lots of ideas and concepts and opinions about what love is. When I talk about love, I have an understanding that I have a lot of self-love for myself. The love that I'm talking about is not selfish in any way, shape, or form. Being selfish to me is when you have closed your heart so tight you don't let anything get in or out. The heart is a magical place, and it's made to produce so much love, not just for ourselves, but beyond what my words can capture. What makes me really happy is when my love is coming out of me. And when you really love yourself, you naturally express who you are in the world. Is there something you just love to do? When was the last time you actually did it? Just because. No reason. If you can't remember when, why have you not? Maybe find something you love to do and just do it, at least once a week. Don't listen when your mind says to you you should be doing something else. I like to say thinking is a powerful tool, but it should not be the ruler of our lives. I found the best moments in life are when I'm not thinking, living in the present moment and not listening to the worries of yesterday or tomorrow. I am being authentic and doing what I love to do, or not doing it all. I'm just being me. Fox One Gal, over and out. Until next time.